Okay, welcome back. This is Dino the Ops Guy. This is Production Management in Practice, or Stardew Production Management 101. This is basically an internet enabled free uh, university level production management course. But rather than stick with textbooks, some of the textbooks that recently have gone a little too far on the supply chain side, not enough on the production side. So either way, starting with a production environment and basically letting the production environment dictate what should be taught and at what pace. And if something doesn't show up in the production environment, then we'll make it up somehow and sort of fill it in. But the point being, starting from the application and working towards the pedagogy. So the environment that we're working in is actually going to be Stardew Valley. It's the game Stardew Valley. So you can actually play at home along at home. This is episode 24, day 24 in Stardew Valley. This is going to be a bit of an odd episode from the standpoint that we have the flower dance today. So we're not going to follow too much in the flower dance. It doesn't make a lot of sense. If you've played the game, you know what the flower dance is. There's no real strategic value to it. But so we're going to cut a lot of the run play out. But I do want to focus a little more on the strategy to get us realigned so that we're set going forward. So there will be a bit of a strategic discussion. I'm going to start with that actually. So given what we want to do strategically, which is in a nutshell, just fill in all the bundles at the community center so we can get the community center. And so sort of along those paths, the next steps that we have to take would be, now that we have the coop, I'm hoping we have the coop by now, that we never really got the timing right, whether 3 days includes the flower dance or not. But in any event, once it's ready, we want to get the chickens. We need 3 is a good number, but we need at least 1 brown and 1 white so that we can have a large brown egg and a large white egg thereby for the bundles. That's pretty important. As well, once we get going with like a mayonnaise machine, 190 for mayonnaise made from a small egg and 285 for mayonnaise made from a large egg. That's a pretty good return. The other thing we want to do is there's just so much on the mining side that we need to catch up, and we haven't really been behind as much. It's just an accelerated path. So at floor 80, we open ourselves up to better supplies of gold ore. You'll get the odd one in what do you call it, a geode and that sort of thing. But for the most part, you need to be up to floor 80 to really get access to gold ore and thus a gold bar. The same thing with fire quartz. It doesn't really show up other than in geodes in until floor 80. And we need both of those to open up the mine carts in the bundles. So that's a good thing. And then, of course, any ores that we need are great for our upgrades. We still need a couple copper upgrades, and copper bars will be used in other things for crafting. So it's pretty important that we have copper. But as well, we got to get into iron heavily for especially for upgrades, and then for a gold we need as well. So at some point, we have to upgrade our axe to iron. So that will give us access to the secret wood, or basically the little part on the sort of the northwest part of Cinder Forest, just north of the Wizard's Tower. We also want to get, once we have a barn, we want to get into, once we have a coop, we get into the barn so we can open up cows and milk. And both of those will have different bundle effects in many forms. As well, as soon as possible, we'd like to get the 36 pack. Even with the 24 pack, we haven't just basically in the last day did we have to start dropping things so that we could pick other things up. So it's good to get that going. But beyond that, let's get to what we are expecting from Av. Certainly water the crops and harvest, get wood where you can, but really a lot of the day is just going to be the flower dance. So I will leave it to you, Av, to do the best you can. Take it away. Okay, thanks, Dina. We will get right to it. It's going to be partially cloudy today, and the day is ours. We have coleslaw And we're just going to get things started. We got strawberries, a good bumper crop of strawberries. That's awesome. We'll pick those. And the idea with the strawberries, we want to keep, I think 16 is a good number, but we're going to keep some so that we can make seeds for next year. And the rest we're just going to sell off. But we do want to keep some, like I said, for the seeds, because otherwise you can't get seeds until the Egg Festival. We ran into that problem this year. We did the kiln. We're trying to get a fair bit of coal. Saying hi to Meow and fill in the water bowl, getting some water, but also we're just going to clear out a lot of these periwinkle. Again, periwinkle are the fish that are so sort of not worth that much. I think they're 25 each or something. It's really not worth converting them every time into value. We might as well just leave them in our inventory for a little bit, unlike the more lucrative fish that would just basically convert right away. So let's water our strawberries, get the whole garden done. So we're slowing down now. We're not planting as much so that I mean, there was an opportunity to plant parsnips, I'm sure, but as much as we want to get that return, we also have purposes for the money. So tomorrow, I'm hoping that the coop is ready. If not, the next day. We're going to need 800 per chicken for 3 chickens. So it's 2,400. So we're trying to save up money that way. And there's other things we're trying to save up money for sure. We want to upgrade our axe. Oh, the flower dance has begun. We got to finish this up. We are going to skip the flower dance. But all that to say from before that we're trying not to spend a lot of money now, trying not to put a whole bunch in the ground until we get back to summer. There's still a lot in the ground we're going to be happy to harvest. So, but otherwise, we're just going to carry on as we do with what we're trying to basically spend on strategically. Just trying to clear us up. I will pick it up back in a bit. Okay, we're back from the flower dance, and I think the big thing now is we got some time, might as well just do wood. So we'll clear out some trees, especially in this sort of tree farm area. The more that we clear out, the more we can plant new. So it really doesn't hurt us to clear this stuff out. We do want to get the stumps as well. Now, the one thing you're noticing, I'm avoiding the weeds, and the reason I'm doing that is because once summer comes and we clear out the weeds, they're going to be a little more valuable. So in the spring and fall, and even in winter in caves, the weeds will give us some mixed seeds, and that's really good. We love mixed seeds. But the issue is going to be, or the advantage of waiting is going to be that in summer, not only is there an opportunity for mixed seeds, but there's opportunities for mixed flower seeds. So I've been trying to sort of get the wood from around there. We will load the kiln one more time, and hopefully everything else will work out. We got some stuff that we're shipping, so we're going to get some money overnight, and that'll be a good thing. But other than that, that's pretty. Oh, we got level 6 forging with the lightning rod. That's a good thing. So for day 25, our new day, we are going to see the our copper pickaxe is ready. That's awesome. It's going to be a beautiful day, and we're going to get neutral luck. So I'm going to send it back to you, Dino. Thanks, Av. That was just what the doctor ordered. So yeah, that was nice and quick. Really not a whole lot there, but we did water the crops, and we did get the strawberries. That was a good harvest. Did get a fair bit of wood, and did go to the flower dance. So covered all the bases. I think tomorrow is going to be a lot more going on. So day 25, I think is going to be pretty exciting, because it's going to be how we're sort of turning the corner, if you will, or pulling out of the strategy. So are pulling in, sort of into the fast lane of the strategy. So just a little bit more on the strategic insights. We said that the next steps would get chickens and the mayonnaise machine and floor 80 and the iron axe and the barn and the 36 pack. But if we look at what resources we have, certainly the money that we have, we've got 6,719 right now, even after cashing in the strawberries. So we're going to need 2,400 for 3 chickens. We don't have to exactly get 3, but that's a good number to get. The mayonnaise machine doesn't cost us any money. It just costs us some resources, but money-wise, we're okay. Going to floor 80, pretty much just use our pickaxe and fire away. Once we get onto the iron axe, well, that's going to cost us another 2,000. So when we look at, we started with 6,700. You drop 2,400. You got drop 2,000. The next thing we want to do is the barn for 6,000. We're not going to have enough. So certainly cash is going to be important. Now we were coming into a really good stream of cash, both from the jars and the crops. So that's working out very, very well. But certainly we're looking to basically get another 15,000 or so G before we can execute the stuff on this list. Now, it's not just money that we're looking at. We have 413 wood. We'll need 15 for the mayonnaise machine. We'll need 350 for the barn. So actually, we're going to be good for wood. We're going to actually use, there's another 50 or so there that we haven't accounted for, and we'll get some more as well along the way. But those 50 we're probably going to convert into coal, so we can look at converting them to preserve jars and basically convert our cauliflower faster. We'll probably have to do a capacity model on that, but we'll get to that in the coming days. As well as stone, we only have 2 stone now. That's partly because we haven't had the pickaxe, so we're going to come up with a brand new pickaxe with a lot more with more efficiency, let's just say. But the first thing we're going to need is 15 for the mayonnaise machine. We won't even have that, and then we're going to need another 150 for the barn. So we're looking at least a couple hundred or so stones that we want to have in our inventory. So we can see that as much as we have these interests, we're going to start aligning. We're going to have to start aligning things, certainly on the money side and the stone side, to start preparing for having enough for these. So other shortages that we're going to look at, or other concerns we're going to have, the iron axe is going to require 5 iron bars. So we're gonna have to mine some iron. We've already used up 1 bar for the 1B house, and we've already used up 1 bar for the recycle machine. I think they were good investments, but we're gonna need another 5 iron bars, which means like 25 iron ore. We only got like 3 or 4 now. So a lot of mining has to happen, and then even after, we're gonna try and make bee houses, and they're gonna require a bar or 5 iron ore each. So there's a fair bit of iron requirement, so we're going to try and keep the iron flow going. Stone is already in short supply, we know that, but it's going to get more if we want to add to preserve jars, because they're going to each require 40 stone. So we said 150, but it's going to be a bit more than even that we're going to, I think, or even 200, whatever. So, and then just looking at money, well, we already know that there's a fair bit of requirements for the 15,000, but at some point, hopefully during the summer, we want to buy an apple tree. The advantage of doing it during the summer is you get a full season once, or just before the summer, I should say, in the spring. You get a full season if you plant it in the spring. You get the full season in the fall. So the apples basically come off of it every day. If we have to delay into summer, each day that we delay is essentially a delay. We're not getting an apple in the fall. That's strategically not a big deal. We only need 4 apples per se. But it's nice to get that income. It's nice to invest that early. So once we get close to the end of the month, we're going to have to look for, do we want to jump that 4,000 ahead, or are we going to delay it? So just some other considerations on the strategic side. So this is a lot, pretty much what we have to concern ourselves with. I think we're pretty good here. I'm hoping you're getting a lot out of these slides or in the course, and Av running around doing all the crazy things that he's trying to do. If you do have comments, something we can do to make it better, happy to hear and try that out. So this is Dino the Ops Guy signing off, and we'll see you next time.